The ABCDs of state elections. Very recently, the 2024 Maharashtra Legislative Assembly election was held on 20th November to elect all 288 members of the state's Legislative Assembly. Similarly, the 2024 Jharkhand Legislative Assembly election was held in two phases from 13th to 20th November to elect all 81 members of the Jharkhand Legislative Assembly. Elections. Elections are the most visible symbol of democratic process. They give citizens the power to choose their representatives and influence how the country and the states are run. By voting, people participate in shaping their government and policies that affect their lives. There are three levels of government in India: union, state, and panchayat. The union government is there to look after the country on the whole, headed by the Prime Minister. The state government looks after the states in particular and are headed by the elected Chief Minister. The third level is at the district level, Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti at block, and the district council, the Zilla Parishad at district level. The federal structure, union and the state. India's federal structure is a system of governance that divides power and responsibility between the central government and the state governments. The Constitution of India outlines this distribution of powers. Distribution of power. The seventh schedule under the Article 246 of the Constitution deals with the division of the powers between Union and the states. It contains three lists: Union list, State list, and the concurrent list. The Union list details the subjects on which the Parliament may make laws, while the State list details those under the purview of the state legislatures. The concurrent list, on the other hand, has subjects in which both Parliament and the state legislatures have jurisdiction. Structure of the state. The structure of a state government in India is modeled after the central government operating on a federal system. Executive. The governor is appointed by the President of India for a term of 5 years. The governor is the constitutional head of the state. They have significant powers, especially in matters related to the appointment of the Chief Minister and the dissolution of the State Assembly. Chief Minister. The majority party in the State Legislative Assembly chooses its leader, who is then appointed as the Chief Minister. He heads the Council of Ministers and is responsible for the overall administration of the state. Council of Ministers. The Chief Minister appoints ministers to head various departments, forming the Council of Ministers. They assist the Chief Minister in decision-making and implementation of policies. Legislative. For every state, there is a legislature which consists of a governor and one house or two houses, as the case may be. In Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Maharashtra, there are two houses known as Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly. In the remaining states, there is only one house known as the Legislative Assembly. Legislative Assembly, or the Vidhan Sabha. The members are directly elected by the people of the state. Members of the Vidhan Sabha are called members of Legislative Assembly, the MLAs. Term of an assembly is 5 years unless it is dissolved earlier. Legislative Council, or Vidhan Parishad. This is present only in few states. Its members are elected indirectly by members of local bodies, graduates, and members of Legislative Assembly. Some of the members are nominated by the governor based on their contribution in the fields of literature, science, art, and social service. Financial powers of the legislature includes authorization of all expenditure, taxation, and borrowing by the state government. Legislative Assembly alone has power to originate money bills. Legislative Council can make only recommendations. The state legislatures, apart from exercising the usual power of financial control, use questions, discussions, debate, adjournments, and no confidence motions and resolutions to keep a watch over day-to-day work of the executive. Speaker of the State Legislature. The Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly is the presiding officer and highest authority of a state legislative assembly in India. The Speaker is elected by the members of the Assembly and usually remains in the office for the life of the Assembly. The Speaker and Deputy Speaker are elected by the Assembly at any time after the state election is declared. The state governor decides the election date for the Speaker. The Speaker's duties include maintaining order and decorum in the Assembly, regulating the order of proceedings, deciding when to let a member speak and for what duration. Election Commission of India. In India, there is the Election Commission which conducts elections to the offices of President, Vice President, Parliament and Legislature of every state. Under Article 324 of the Constitution, the President appoints the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners. The ECI ensures the participation of all eligible citizens in an inclusive, voter-centric and voter-friendly environment with the highest standard of credibility, fairness, transparency, integrity, accountability, autonomy, and professionalism. It creates awareness about the electoral process and electoral governance to enhance and strengthen confidence and trust in the electoral system of this country. It supports the values preserved in the Constitution, viz., equality, equity, impartiality, independence, and rule of law in superintendence, direction, and control over the electoral governance. अब हमारा कंट्रीब्यूटर्स सेगमेंट जिसमें हम उन बच्चों के नाम अनाउंस करते हैं जिन्होंने क्लास में डिस्कस किए गए क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स हमारे कमेंट सेक्शन में दिए। पिछले हफ्ते के कंट्रीब्यूटर्स हैं टाइनी टॉट स्कूल आजमगढ़ से आराध्या यादव, फरीहा और प्रत्यूष। आयुष सिंह और हर्ष ने अपने स्कूल का नाम और सिटी मेंशन नहीं किया है। आप सभी के पेरेंट्स, टीचर्स और स्कूल को हार्दिक बधाई। अगर आप भी अपना नाम अनाउंस होते सुनना चाहते हैं तो क्लास में डिस्कस किए गए क्वेश्चंस का जवाब कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख दें।